Everybody's ready, we'll go ahead and get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Parsons,
Here.
Vice Mayor Vasquez,
Here.
Commissioner Laura,
Present.
Commissioner McCaffrey,
Present.
Commissioner Warren.
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. If you'd all stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Invocation. Cindy.
I'm Cindy Hall. I'm representing the Liberal Ministerial Alliance. Thank you, City of Liberal and Commission and Management for welcoming us and allowing us public prayer here at the meetings. We want you to know that you are appreciated, that you are loved, and that you are being prayed for individually and corporately, and not just in a public place or meeting times, but on a daily basis by many. From God's Word, 1 Timothy 2, 1-4, we pray for all of those that are in authority so that we may lead a peaceful and quiet life. So, Heavenly Father, we come before you today acknowledging that you are our ultimate source of wisdom and authority. Romans 13:1. Tonight, we lift up these city commissioners and city administration, department heads, staff, including legal counsel, law enforcement, and our first responders. Grace them with wisdom as described in James 1:5 to seek your guidance in every decision they make. May they lead with integrity and a keen sense of justice, fulfilling your call in Micah 6:8 to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly before you, God. We pray for harmony and unity within this governing body. Help them to listen attentively to one another and to the needs of the community, and to have the same spirit as Mordecai, who sought and spoke for the good and welfare of the people. We ask that they would extend favor to the multitude of the citizens that they represent, and that they would receive favor from those citizens. Your mantle of favor works both as a shield that protects and a magnet that attracts. We pray for the peace and prosperity of our city. As this community prospers from extending generosity, may we use it as a force for good. We pray specifically for these leaders and their families, that they would prosper in all aspects and be in good health. We pray a Psalms 91 blessing of protection, your protection and your angels on assignment to keep them in all of their ways. Over the agenda and business tonight, we speak peace over all, and we declare that you are King. You have dominion over the city of Liberal and our territory, and we desire to have your will, your plan, your timing to be in perfect alignment with the purpose and destiny you have for our city of Liberal. Your kingdom come and your will be done. These things we pray in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Cindy. Okay, item number 1, awards, proclamations, and presentations. We have none of those. Item number 2, approval of the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda as published.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 3, minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the June 9th, 2026 work session minutes and the June 9th, 2026 regular meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 4, items from citizens. Are there any citizens in? Come on up, Rita. Yeah, take your time.
Okay, Rita Isaacs, before I forget, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Councilman, as city manager. And I usually forget before I get up here. About Thursday or Friday, my granddaughter had a fire. It was in her alley. Up there, Chance, the drive, the newest one, the house, the very last one up there. And they've got a fence that goes to the very last inch of the property line. And I was up here once before and I talked about the danger of it because it was not being maintained, it was dry, and something was going to happen. And it's either the city, not the city, could have been, or a contractor had some equipment back there and broke the fence, the gate and everything. Well, they straightened it up and they never fixed it. And so he can't get out to mow back there, so there's even drier. The contractor has a pile of wood and supplies he did not use, and it's piled up against a fence. So Thursday, Friday night, a firecracker went off, went over and landed in their alley next to it, burned the fence and this material. I have to compliment the police department. I don't know the lady's name, but she was the woman officer. She was beating on the door, and she didn't do anything else, but she went in the backyard and used the hose and watered down until the fire department came. I don't see fire department tonight. Anyway, they got there shortly, and so my granddaughter said, "Thank you very much." I went back just before I came here to make sure I knew what I was talking about. There is no northern access. Between that fence, the poles, and the equipment that goes out in the alley, it has to be city something or power something. There is no way anyone can get through. Lindsay said the fire truck came into that cul-de-sac right there, and by then, I don't know what they were doing. So somebody, there were only two houses being used, and had to be someone close enough to see next to the fence. So I don't know if this was an accident, but again, years ago, the last house on Ridge Road, which is what she lives in, built a garage, and they put a little bridge across there. And it's that ditch it's right along Tucker, and the city made him take it down, which I can see there is no access from that direction. So Lindsay lives the third house south of Tucker. So right now, she can't get out the fence or the gate because they didn't finish it. So this is my idea. If the contractor was responsible for breaking the fence and they just set it back up, or the city, or I would think instead of Lindsay having to pull that down on her insurance, that they would be responsible because they had that right up there and that was burning. So if you would check into again, the danger of it, no access. And when they finish those houses right across there, everybody gets a fence. There is no way that they can have access to these homes on Ridge Road. So if you'd check into that, I'd appreciate it. And again, for the police officer and the city and the fire department, I do thank them for being there and saving. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, item number 5, items from groups. Anybody from groups that would want to address the commission? Seeing none, item number 6, the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as printed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion on any of those items? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Okay, motion passes 5-0. Item number 7,
Resolution number 2460, application for assistance to firefighters grant.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, before you is Resolution Number 2460, which authorizes the submission of an Assistance to Firefighters Grant application for wildland and firefighting gear specifically. If awarded, grant funds would be used to enhance firefighter safety, improve operational effectiveness during grassland fire responses, and support mutual aid deployments to neighboring jurisdictions. Staff recommends approval of Resolution Number 2460, authorizing the submission of an AFG application and allowing the mayor, city manager, and grant administrator to execute the grant documents. I also would like to thank Aaron Lumen with the fire department for his hard work and collaboration throughout the grant application process. It wouldn't have been possible without him and the data that him and his department provided. So I want to send a thank you to them.
We weren't given much, not that it is a giant concern to me, but any particulars of the grant itself, how much and what it's gonna,
Yes.
what they hope to do with it?
Yes, so the total cost of the grant request is $60,226.25. Because our population is fewer than 20,000 residents, our contribution is only a 5% match, meaning that number would be $2,867.92, and then FEMA would contribute $57,358.33. The gear that would be provided are 35 rescue helmets, including vented ocular visors, responder goggles, headlamps, wildland boots, wildland leather gloves, and then the coat, the pants that would be custom fitted and be more appropriate for the wildland fires.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution number 2460, allowing the mayor, city manager, and grant administrator to execute the grant documents.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? No, seeing none. All those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 8, outdoor water recreation facility bid design award.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, I appreciate the opportunity to come up tonight and discuss the water park bid project. Last Monday, we opened up sealed bids for the aquatic design portion of it. We had 2 companies that did put in sealed bids for it, respected companies at that. These engineering firms for the services for this project, 2 different amounts. And one of the companies is here tonight, Hutton Construction, and he'll be able to come up with any questions and kind of talk about their proposal as well. So Hutton Construction came in with their architect and engineering fee at $552,500, and this is based on a $6.5 million assessment in the facility project. This also includes a 7.75 after the completion work, and I'll let him discuss that a little bit more. And then you had LK Architect. In both companies, mind you, they both are working with Water's Edge, who we've worked with in the past. Brian Hill has done a phenomenal job at that. So both companies would be working with Water's Edge in this. LK Architect, their cost came in at a value of $5 million on the project. This is where, there we go. On their proposed architect and engineering fees, it was $220,109. Coming in afterwards, we did get an email of a correction that it would be $487,500. So there was a correction in addition to the services. And that was based on a $5 million project with a 9.75 little addition to after all the work. Both companies very good to this. What I'm trying to add to it, but a lot of great former projects they've worked on, and I think that's the big key to it. We can answer any questions you guys might have on it. Probably a lot of questions to it.
Well, my first one is, did you just tell me that the original bid was 220,000 and now it's 487,000? Is that what you just said?
So it came in at 220,000, which is 60% of construction costs. His bid did come in at 487,500. But on his book, it shows the 220,000, which is 60% of the cost,
Correct.
which the evaluation of his is 487,500.
60% of what cost? Because $220,000 is not 60% of anything that I see. It's certainly not 60% of 487,000.
60% of the design cost with a $5 million budget. So after we published the agenda, we were asking several questions because
Correct.
I kept going back to the percentage based on the budget amount. So in my opinion, and I sat down with engineers yesterday with PEC to discuss it, Hutton has a lower design fee because it's at 7.75% of the total construction cost. LK is 9.75% of the total construction cost, but LK thinks they can do it for $5 million, and Hutton thinks it's going to cost about $6.5 million. In my opinion, we need to look at the percentage over just the flat amount, which was the question that I had for Travis and Matt when I saw that flat amount. It was just written slightly different than the others, and it threw us for a loop by publishing timeframe.
So go ahead. Well, I guess I have a question because I'm a little bit confused. So I thought we were gonna pick a company, and this is what I guess like the consultation cost was gonna cost us, and then later we pick the design. So how are we already getting an estimate of a design if we haven't narrowed down what we want? Like you guys are saying it's gonna cost approximately $6,500,000, but we haven't really talked about the specifics of what we decided we wanted specifically within the park.
Yeah, so I don't know if you have the books or not. So take it LK. On his, he put a plus hourly rate. So we are doing the design build first. We are doing the design first, and we're picking a firm that's gonna design it. All in all, the Water's Edge is designing whatever park you want on either aspect of it. The firms are who's gonna contract the whole project out. So on the LK design, you get a 220,000 to 487,500 plus an hourly rate as your design goes up. So you could go up. His evaluation could go up if we decide to go on a different route of the design that you don't like or you do want. I'm guessing that's how yours possibly could go as well. Just depending on our design, you have a 6.5 evaluation. Depending on what commission and community picks, your evaluation can either go up or go down.
I'd be happy to.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
So you can give some details, okay?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
Here, give it to you.
Well, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Andy Farmeyer. I'm with Hutton. I'm our Western Kansas project team leader. So yeah, just to give you some overarching context to kind of how we arrived at presenting you fees for this and the way we did. First of all, our design proposal is design and build. So we are a design build firm. So we broke the fees out for design, but we also give you a separate fee within that proposal for the construction management side of the project. So when you're looking at that, the numbers I hear you discussing, I believe, are only the design element, where we've given you design build fee to do a turnkey delivery method for your project. That being the case, we would only design it if we were also chosen to be your builder. So just please kind of understand that. So how we arrived at what we proposed to you, we got the RFP from the city. In the language of the RFP, it talks in context of a construction budget of $5 million. I suspect that's probably why LK based their fees around that. The reason we chose to base our fees around a projected construction cost of 6.5 is prior to submitting the proposal, we did meet with your city manager and some of her leadership team. And we just kind of talked in high level about all the different elements that are discussed as potential wants for the project. And I brought to that meeting kind of an overall conceptual budget. Just say, based on historical data, we see, splash pads in this range of approximately this budget and a lazy river element of this much. And we just gave kind of a shopping list type of format and said, we think that to get everything that you talk about in the RFP, that may not be achievable in a $5 million construction budget. And as we discussed through that, we said, we think it's maybe a little more realistic to think about, if you want all the elements that you've mentioned here, to think more in the context of a $6.5 million budget. So as we look at evaluating and coming up with what we're going to propose for fees, it's usually through the frame of reference of the size of the project. However, as he mentioned, that fee moves proportionate from a dollar perspective, adjusts proportionally to the size of the project. That, I believe, let me get to the right document. When you're looking at our fees, which I think is on page 46 of your packet there, we give a lump sum dollar amount of $552,500 and a percentage base of 7.75. So within everything that's being asked for is design services for this project, including like the community meetings and all that. There's some fixed costs, things that aren't gonna vary if the project goes up $500,000 or down $500,000, but the majority of that does. So if you think about, if the project were to be a $5 million construction project, our fee would come down from that 552, and it would come down at a ratio of 7.75% per dollar. So you can kind of work the math and essentially try to make an apples to apples comparison of our fee, what our dollar amount fee would be at 5 million compared to the fee that LK has provided you. I'll stop right there before I go into anything. Does that make sense? Does that give clarity to kind of what our fee's based around and how it would adjust? If the same thing too, if you decided you wanted to make this a $8 million project, it would increase above 552,000 by 7.5% too. So the goal of this is really for us to come in, meet with your team, meet with you as a commission, host your community meetings, and not only determine what you want the scope of this project to be, but really dial in what is your project construction budget. The RFP speaks to it at a $5 million number. I'm talking with Scarlett. Sounds like there may be some funds above that that could be appropriated to it if this is the desire of the commission. And so wherever your target budget is where we're going to drive the project, because we ultimately want to make sure that we're delivering the project for you within your budget. But that's why I chose to say let's base our fees around 6.5. Okay, so all that, did that answer your question?
Yeah, but I guess for me it would just be, I would like to know a little bit more what was in that proposal. Because I mean, you're telling me that this is the price based on that, but
Yeah.
there's some community concerns that they want certain aspects within that park, and so I just want to be assured that that is in there. So I guess I would just, for me, need a little bit.
So
I guess I would say there's not a specific amount dedicated for that, but
But you see what, like, I would like to have an idea of what we're asking for.
but you're not gonna get that until we select the design firm. And I know it's counterintuitive.
But it is and it isn't, because what they're gonna do is, once we select a firm, then they're gonna go out and ask the public and us, what is it exactly that you do want? And how big do you want it? And what's it gonna look like? And then they will incorporate that into their design.
Okay, but that doesn't, like, we're not stuck with that specifically, right?
you're not, I mean,
Like,
you
we're not-
guys will determine what your construction budget is for
Right
the
now,
project.
it's wide open, and the thing is we're gonna be faced with deciding if it gets too high, what we can live without.
All right,
So it's the same thing, but
I mean, I want to go back to the cost thing, because now I'm either confused or I didn't understand it. So Hutton came in with a total price tag, those are my words, of 6.5 million. And LK came in at 5 million, correct?
Yes.
Can I give you correct on that, sir? Sorry.
Go ahead.
We're not saying your project's 6.5
Right,
million.
but that's what's in the information I have here.
Okay.
So that's how it came in. That was the bid. And then we have the proposed architecture and engineering fee for each one. Is that what's changed? I don't understand that prior conversation you were just having about.
The percentages is what we need to be looking at.
I feel that we need to look at the percentages based on the budget that we're going to build.
Yeah.
In the RFP, we said we wanted to stay around a $5 million budget because we didn't want to get too out of control with the dollar amount. In our meeting with Hutton, and I was not able to meet with LK because I had other things going on, but in the meeting with Hutton, they showed me a similar design and told me the amount. We thought we could take a little bit off of that because we knew that we had already done demo and priced that out, and we knew probably buildings could come in just a little bit less based on size. So they're not saying that 6.5 million is exactly what it's going to be. That amount of 552,500 is based on a $6.5 million budget, but it's variable based on where we come in through the design process.
Correct. I mean, to be clear, we're not providing you a lump sum bid for the design and construction of the project. So I apologize for interrupting, but that was the clarification I was wanting to make there. The way this process works is you would be hiring us to go through the design process and design a facility based to a target budget that you have for what you want to spend on this project. There's multiple steps in that process as you go through, but ultimately prior to construction starting, a not to exceed guaranteed maximum price would be established. But as we sit here at this point in the process, and you are trying to, we don't know what for lack of better words, we don't know what the brick and mortar costs of the project are because we haven't designed it yet.
Absolutely.
The fees are really those elements that are not not exact brick and mortar costs. So,
So Scarlett, don't focus really on the number, but
Yes.
the percent that Hutton had was
So the way it-
7.75 and
I
the other
agree.
was 9 point.
The way it was written when we published, it was more focused on a dollar amount that was in the booklet. After I was able to break it down over the weekend and meet with engineers yesterday, we confirmed that we really need to be looking at the percentage of the construction cost. Otherwise, those dollar amounts are misleading.
So essentially what we're doing is we're comparing essentially 7.75% versus 9.75%.
Correct.
Okay.
And then we choose the budget based on design meetings that we have with the hired firm.
Right.
And we have in mind an amount that we want to be at, but we know you guys have a lot of different ideas and elements that you want included, so we really need to look at the percentage, in my opinion.
To me, I need a little bit more clarity, so I want to ask this question. So is this your wording or their wording that the third bullet point includes architectural engineering and aquatic design services through the project completion on both of those, the third bullet point? Now you're saying that Hutton actually has the construction of the project, overseeing of the project in their number. And we're also saying that, okay, that if we put theirs in there for the construction and use their number, they're at 487,000, is that right? Or, and that's using the percentage based on 5 million. But so when I do the Hutton number at 6.5 million at 7.75%, I come up at $503,750. So there's a difference in there. So I didn't know if there's a fee in there besides just the 7.75, but that gets it to the 552, but it's still, or is it 7.75, whatever number we come out, because it doesn't work out on the 6.5.
Yeah, so that said element always said some of the costs within the design are fixed and they don't vary.
Okay.
Some do. So if you can imagine at the benchmark of a $6.5 million project, the fee is the $552,500. If that project cost lowers or increases, it'll only do so at the rate of 7.75%.
I'll say, so that percent, I mean, I get the dollar amounts will vary, but the percent will be locked in.
Yes.
Correct.
Because in the booklet you do
Okay, I
have,
have a question then. For LK Architecture, if you guys go with them, is that 9.75% on anything over 5 million?
I believe it's 9.75% based on construction cost, whatever the budget that we set in the end after design.
But that's different than for that, right?
So what's the 220 estimate for? I mean, what does that actually mean on theirs? Because in reality,
So in there, you'll see their breakdown in the books that we got. Aquatic design is at 43,900. The 9.75, I think, is 131,250. And then the other ones are set fees as well. Where I think they messed up is that 135 is supposed to be adjusted. Or that 131. In your booklet for Hutton, I see that you have a 12,000 reimbursement, and then you have 5% construction fees.
Yep.
0.75 for builder's risk, the insurance, and 0.85 for the performance and payment bond.
Correct.
Are those fees for us as well?
Yeah, so that is the fees of the 552,000 that we've been discussing up till now, with the reimbursements broken out separate of 12,000. Those are the fees for design, the design aspect of the project only. To be for the construction manager portion of the project, to manage and oversee the construction of the project, that is the that's the 5% fee, and we also broke out our insurance and bond rate in addition to that overhead and profit fee. So I'm not going to speak for LK's fee breakdown, but I would ask that you seek clarification if they've provided you. Is their proposal for only the design of the facility, or is it for the design and the construction? Because the second portion there, under everything below the heading of this construction fee, is the fee that we would charge to build the project, which is in addition to the fees above to design the project. So I don't know if we've given you the same scope of services as LK, and I would encourage you to seek clarification on
Yes,
that.
and we received clarification from them yesterday via email. I would be happy to read this to you because it basically reiterates what he just said. It's a short paragraph here. LK sent Travis this email yesterday after we requested additional clarification. We appreciate the opportunity to clarify the design fee comparison for the outdoor water recreation facility project. As presented in our proposal, the $220,109 figure represents services through design development, which is 60% construction documents only, and does not reflect the total project design fee. Our complete architectural and engineering services are provided on a 9.75% basis of the cost of work and include full delivery through construction completion. So they're just slightly different in the way they have been presented to us.
Right, and they have 4 different companies working for them. Well, here we just have 2, because they're design and build, and then Aquatic's Edge.
Can I ask, so is LK's fees, as they've given you, is that also include to oversee the construction, to be the construction manager portion of the project?
So the set amount of 22109 is the design development, which is 60% of the project, and then we have 40% more to go.
Yeah, their fees have pre-construction and coordination fees set in there, but I don't see anything on construction.
On a typical, I mean, you're, on a project, you're going to have, an architect, a design team that's going to design the project, and then you're gonna have somebody to be your builder, be that a general contractor, construction manager. In this case, it's the build side of our design build services. And so we've given those fees for the build side as a separate number. Like I said, I would just strongly encourage you to get clarification to LK. Does all the numbers they presented you also include being the construction contractor to hire and all of the subcontractors and manage the construction of your project?
And is there a particular reason they don't have somebody here today, this evening?
I was unable to attend the meeting last week. Did you have anything additional to add to that?
They're based out of Wichita, so we didn't have a representative here.
Are you telling me, though, that besides the 7.75, that there would be a 5% and the beyond that, so we're looking at 12%?
Yeah, so
on the
essentially
construction part?
So we, are you with French Construction?
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
general
So you're
contractor.
a little familiar with, I believe, the industry. So, we looked at the RFP that you all issued, that you are looking for to hire one company to provide turnkey services to design and construct your new water park. That's the services that's what we've bundled up in our, because that's what we do as a company. We do, some projects we only build, we're only the construction manager. Some projects we're the designer and construction manager. We've proposed to you to be both. And so not all companies are true in-house design build, although we do. So oftentimes we suspected if you were going to get proposals from a joint venture where an architect and a construction company partnered together to give you a proposal to be the designer and contractor for your project, they may propose their fees to you broken apart, where here's the fees to do the design side, here's the fees to do the build side. That's how we've put this together, and that's why I keep asking. Like, I would really encourage you to inquire and see if LK's fee proposal, and it may, but I'm just saying double check. I would strongly encourage you to double check if you're hiring them to be the contractor to build your pool as well. But to your question, Commissioner, our overhead and profit fee on the build side would be 5% of the construction value of the project. And then our insurance rate and bond rate are given as well, and those are in addition to that overhead and profit fee. So if you wanted to if you wanted to understand the true full cost to hire Hutton to design and build your facility, it would be the sum of all of those fees.
And see, that's where,
So in LK, I just found it in their packet. So LK will actually have a contracting company, which is the law company contractors, which is, I'm guessing, will oversee the project, not LK Architects.
Yeah, they have four: LK Architect, the law company, general contractors, Water Edge, and the sports facilities companies.
Yeah, so they'll partner with law company contractors to do
but there's no fee in there for that. So it's a matter of trying to split up the fees. We're looking at actually, with yours, overseeing the design of the construction, but not the construction of the construction, is in the 5%. Is that correct? I mean, you have to add them all, like you said, you have to add them all together.
Overseeing, doing the full design services is what's under the heading of architectural engineering services.
Yep.
To be the general contractor, per se, to build the project are the fees under construction there. So if you were to hire an architect to just build this, to design this for you, and then you put it out to bid to be built under, like, say, a hard bid scenario, you would pay your design team to design it, and then when you got your bids from your general contractor to build it, they would have their fees in the construction costs. That's how we've structured ours. You're just seeing them both here on the same sheet.
So really what we need to understand are the exact fees
we need to
in
get to where
each
we get
one and
apples and
percentage
apples.
for it.
Is
Yeah,
what we need. And we need to probably set the deal and say, I mean, whether it be 5 million or 6 million, whatever, let's say our project ends up at 6 million. What is our design and construction cost gonna be through you?
Yeah, and that's where you get the
And it
percentages.
needs- Right, and because if you put them in different places, and, I mean, right now, I can't tell what it ever adds up, because I don't have enough information from LK to start with, to construct it. And I see this information, but then it tells me that we're looking at more like 800 and some thousand by the time we get built, that's 6.5 for total construction fees and architectural fees, the design, altogether. Even though we got one company doing what sometimes two people do. But, and LK's they're doing one and not the other, instead of doing both,
And
but
there are
they're overseeing.
four companies involved, all of which will want
Right.
fees, you know.
We need to understand apples and apples, that if this project costs, we just pick a number, 5 million, 6 million, whatever we wanna pick, and compare apples and apples, because if you don't, then you really don't know if you're comparing the same thing.
So I have another question with Water's Edge. Since we've actually been working with them since the beginning of the discussion of this project as a designer, do they have any preferred? Since it seems like every company's using them anyway.
So we talked to Brian, and Brian gave every company the same aspect and same price to everybody, and he'd let us know that whichever way we go, he works great with everybody, so.
Got it.
He's not on one side or the other, and he don't wanna be, so he gave the same price to all contractors that did it.
He was excited, he was gonna win.
Either way.
Yeah.
So do you think we can do that, Charlotte? Instead
Yes.
of us deciding tonight? Because right now, I still can't tell how they compare.
I do feel that we got a little bit rushed because we do feel the time ticking and we wanted to get it on the agenda. But we definitely need a little bit more clarification. I do feel the percentages and what's included in that is the key. In my opinion, I did feel in visiting with Alexis, who is here from PEC, and a few other of our engineers, we do feel that Hutton had pretty clear contract language by comparison. We felt that the packet was organized, clean, it was easy to follow, and they have an office that's closer to Liberal.
I agree.
We do have a little bit of experience in dealing with them with a few other projects and bids, so there's a bit of a comfort level there. We do want to ask, is there any sort of flexibility in the time frame? Because that was something that I noticed your packet appeared to take a little bit longer, and we just want a great product in the end, so I think we're willing to go the distance there. But can you clarify a little bit
Yeah,
on
I'd be
that?
happy to. So, I mean, first of all, we understand time is of the essence on this project. You're without a municipal water park right now and want to get that back in for your community as quick as possible. I never want to be somebody who's going to overpromise and underdeliver. So when we met and talked to Scarlett and her team, we talked about what is kind of the keys of this project. And one of my personal takeaways from that meeting was that, we're looking at a decades long, multiple decades long facility here, and the keys to get it right and make sure that you put in place something that your community is going to be happy for generations. And so we didn't want to short that process. We do give a breakdown of kind of our steps of design. We can certainly, we want to get this done as quickly as we can for you. I think I just wanted to kind of map out what we feel like is adequate time to host public meetings, to go through the steps, give you guys opportunity to, whenever we do design a project and we're going through that pre-construction, we want to make sure there's several pauses through the progression of design where we back check and make sure we're staying within budget, and we bring that information back to you all, and we just want to make sure there's an ample time for that. So if you look through our schedule, you see those several first line items are kind of those milestone phases of design, and then you see those diamonds in there where you say control budgeting. So I wanted to appropriate enough time for that. We certainly want to do this as aggressively as possible. I think that having a splash park open by the end of next summer, so your students are able to enjoy it before they go back into school, is definitely achievable. I kind of earmarked that for late July. If we can get that done sooner, we absolutely want to. Like I said, I wanted to just map out, is this doable? Sure. Is this doable? What does it look like? And I don't want to come up here and present something to you that is over-promising, so.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that.
So both proposals talk about the establishment of the GMP, which is the guaranteed maximum price.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's when we would know like the total cost of the entire project, materials, labor, fees, and all of that.
Correct.
So, and I don't, again, this is really all new to me, so if you have a comment, if not, that's also fine, but the proposal from Hutton seems to put that in like March of 2027, and the one from LK puts it in the September 25th to November 5th range. I just didn't know from budgeting purposes if one of those was more beneficial than the other, if we're gonna play around with scheduling type things.
From a budget perspective, we will just input, because we do want to pay a cash price for this if possible. That's what we have promised. So we will just put in a very large transfer to the construction fund and then try to live within that. So I'm not concerned about this timeline from a budget standpoint. In fact, we want most of it to be happening in 2027 because we already have projects determined for the 2026 budget year. So, Brian, did you want to add anything to that?
And then I didn't know, Ron, if you had any opinion on The LK one seems to do a lot of work in the winter, and that was, are they over-promising on that?
You never can tell here. I mean, you just really never know, but, so, but,
That's what I keep saying.
you know, being in construction, sometimes being optimistic is not good. But, you know, experience sometimes gets you in a better place, but, I was more concerned about the numbers.
Sure.
That what appears to maybe be a larger number, maybe a smaller number.
Right.
And I wanted us to make the right decision based on that.
Sure.
And,
I agree that in here, a lot of them are giving us the design fees, but they're not giving us construction fees.
Right.
And so you gave us a percentage, so at least that gets us a working spot. In LK, I don't really see anywhere where they discuss construction fees. And if they're presenting it the same way as a design and build, they just have 4 companies doing it, I think it would be better to get all the numbers up front.
Yeah.
And if your new proposal coming through, you could give us numbers attached to your percentages.
Sure, if you would like us to, say, amend our fee proposal based around a $5 million project size as opposed to 6.5, we'd certainly do that. Just know it'll adjust exactly according to these what we've already given you, so.
That'd be perfect.
Okay.
we just don't know where the other one come out at.
When did we
I'm
set
not
that
sure
was the
where's
amount?
LK from.
Like, when did we
think we're just-
specifically
I think we're
decide
just-
that that was the
They're
amount?
from
The
Wichita.
5 we talked about in the past.
But we didn't decide on it.
Right, but the 5 is the starting point where they're gonna give us
That's not max, though,
percentages.
right?
No,
No, I
I think
understand, but
that's
that'll
just-
give us kind of approximate
It's a
percentages, but
placeholder,
that's
I
not,
think.
Correct.
okay.
And what they're telling us is it'll adjust depending on what the actual final
Okay.
price is. But we need the other company to also give us the set percentage.
Right, I think we could
Not a
get
dollar.
to Hutton's number, but.
Okay,
And
so,
that'd give us some, I mean, I should have already done it, researched LK a little bit. I mean, I know Hutton is reputable and then has offices in many communities. Has a project going in Liberal right now, but
And we did work with them on the hangar assessment, so we do have a little bit of experience with their staff. We can go back and get clarification. We can schedule a special meeting where we just talk about this again, because we've been doing that for quite some time now. And that might be a good arena in which to discuss it a little
it would
bit
be
more.
good if we could get it started, so I'm not opposed to, unless we're just gonna wait till the next meeting, but if we wanna do it before that.
I think we should do it before that because we have a dead week
Yeah.
before the next meeting and
Oh, okay, yeah, we should probably do that then.
one thing I think would be helpful, and I know we were emailed the packets, and, you know, I don't have anything really big enough at my house to make those things
Yeah.
super easy to read, but if we could get, I know it's an expense, but if we could get printed copies of those, because just looking through this right now, and I did go down yesterday to City Hall, and I did thumb through them. I didn't spend a ton of time looking through them, but if you just look at the design phase on this, and the difference between, what the two firms are gonna do, so Hutton has the design phase ending or at least, no, the design development ending in early November, as opposed to September for LK. I mean, that's a huge difference. I mean, that's 3 months. I think that's a lot of where you're finding your difference in the end of the project is, but I don't know. I just would say that's a big difference that we ought to at least take a look at. I think we ought to look at things other than just the dollar amount too.
Sure,
Is that,
yeah, absolutely.
how careful are we gonna be? How much time do we actually wanna take doing these things? Before we proceed on. So, I mean, to me, it would be helpful if I could have something in my hands that I can mark on and use a little bit. Yeah. I don't have a printer at my house.
Sorry.
do
So
we
we
want,
just wanna table this until we,
do we want to set a special meeting date?
Next Tuesday.
So I think we're more clear on the proposal from Hutton on the price standpoint, correct?
I think
We
so.
can get to a number with the numbers they've given us, yeah.
Yeah, I
But I mean,
mean,
I
like he
just
said,
prefer them
their
to do it.
percent's not gonna change. So, I mean, if we want a $5 million price tag, just do some math, and there it is.
I think if we're gonna do it, we should have them present that, even though we can do the math.
Okay.
And then have the other company, and that way we know that we see it the same way they see it,
Right.
but have the other company do theirs then, and not say if we do a project, that we're gonna do a project and it's gonna cost 5 million, if it costs 5 million, what will it be? And we already know what the percentages will be if it costs 6 million or 6.5.
Yep,
They'll
I think
go up
that's-
in those percentages.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so will you guys get back in contact with LK?
Okay. Or do we have a date in mind?
Okay, so what are we thinking for a special meeting to discuss just this matter? Jeanette, did you say?
I was just thinking Tuesday, because I was gonna ask you guys for a meeting
Let's do it
anyways.
Friday, it's gonna be nice next week, let's do it this week, when, get the
So-
rain week out of the way.
Before my little April surprise of
No,
getting on the
Tuesday's
commission, I had a planned vacation, so I will be gone from the 30th, which would be a week from today. And I fly out in the afternoon, and I'll be returned on the 7th.
Let's do the 29th, the Monday.
Works for me too.
Friday or Monday, what's it look like for you, Ron?
I can do the 29th.
When, Monday?
Yeah, the 29th.
Yeah.
What time is better for everybody?
5:30 works for me, or
How about you, Ron?
Yeah, I'll be wore out by then.
Can you do it earlier? Four?
I can go a little bit. I can go
Well,
earlier.
yeah, I mean,
His is
Four,
pretty
or
easy.
is that too early?
5:30's fine, or I can do it at 4, or,
Four would
They
work
should
best,
be able to.
Four?
because yeah, otherwise.
Do you have any
Works for
appointment
me.
anything on Mondays?
Not that Monday, and usually not that late in the afternoon. Let me just make sure I did this right. Yep, I will be here. I will be here then, yes.
June 29th?
June 29th at 4?
That works for me.
Okay. So you guys have a little bit of homework, but, okay.
Well, I appreciate the
And thank
opportunity
you for
to
coming
provide
down.
clarity
I appreciate
today.
it very much.
Thank you very much.
It was helpful.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you guys.
How do we officially deal with this? Do we just want to table it? We want to,
No action.
Just reflect no action taken, and then the next meeting, when you have your work session, hopefully you guys have a direction. The next meeting, you guys can actually take action at the.
okay,
So
well, it's
the-
a special meeting,
The
so we
meeting on
can,
the-
right?
Yeah, the meeting on the 29th.
If you make it a special meeting specifically to address that issue, then yes, you can
Okay.
take action on it.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, let's make it a special meeting.
okay,
But don't call it a work session, call it a
No,
special.
special
Yes,
meeting?
special meeting.
Got it.
Yeah.
okay, all right. Moving on to item number 9, PEC work order, stormwater subdivision regulations. Keith?
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, since my time as building official, I have recognized that there's kind of a hole in city ordinance. We have developers call and ask, what are your stormwater regulations? And we currently have nothing anywhere in city ordinance, subdivision regulations, zoning, anything that lays out a specific set of stormwater regulations. Over the years, it's been whatever the engineer doing the project has said it should be. So I have no way of saying that this housing development was given the same requirements as this housing development. So I've been looking toward putting some stormwater regulations in place so that anybody that calls, I can hand them rules in black and white. After discussing it with Scarlett, she sent me toward PEC, who we've partnered with. PEC was very much on the same page as me, stating that would be good to cover the city. I was looking at ordinance. PEC staff said it would be better it belongs in the subdivision regulations. We have reworked the comprehensive plan, we have reworked the zoning, and the third part of that is the subdivision regulations, which have not been touched since 2004. Anyway, I was already looking at going them. So, we met with PEC a couple times, and they have a work order in front of you to assist with public meetings, with everything to get stormwater and possibly some green space regulations worked into our subdivision regulations so that it would be the same across the board for anybody wanting to develop. With the agreement The total cost listed on the end is $22,425. There are stipulations in there that, it could go up if anything extra, an extra public meeting, anything like that. So I've asked you to, approve work order 2603 from PEC in an amount not to exceed $25,000. PEC staff is here if you have any further questions about this or need any more information.
Can I just provide a little bit more information if that helps?
Please.
Okay.
This is who you guys selected earlier to deal with, right?
Yes, PEC.
I did my own little notes because I know sometimes proposals, like we've learned, can be a little confusing. So, good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners and staff. This project updates the city's subdivision regulations and establishes clear stormwater requirements and expectations for future development. One of the biggest benefits is providing developers with the information that they need upfront, creating a more transparent and predictable process. It also helps city staff, like Keith has mentioned, by providing very consistent standards and reviewing that criteria and ensuring that all of the developments are evaluated fairly and uniformly. From a community standpoint, these regulations also help ensure that the new development does not create any headaches downstream of any property owners. Then, of course, our team will work closely with you guys to review the existing regulations, provide feedback, and develop draft standards that fit the city's needs. And then once the draft regulations are complete, we'll bring final recommendations back to the commission for review and then, of course, consideration. You worked alongside with Lance Onstott, and he would be kind of the head of a lot of this because he does all of our subdivision regulations. I just know that this is one of the big priorities that we have discussed from the beginning of working with you guys. So we're excited to hopefully continue that and this project help you guys put something together and that not only improves the development process, but also supports long-term growth, which is really important, and success of the community. So that's what I've got.
I heard you use the word green space, Keith. Are we really looking at that, or?
So within the subdivision regulations, it laid out, there's a map in there if you find it, that they laid out like these areas of town are within a 10-minute walk to a park. These areas of town are a little further from.
Right.
These areas of town are even further from. I mean, there's sections in town that are shaded red stating they're pretty much too far for a person to walk to a public park. So in looking at new developments, like I've been in discussions with someone about the other side of 6 Points south of Sage, possibly putting in a housing development. Well, I'm looking at it going, if he puts a housing development in there, a person will have to cross a major highway and walk more than a mile to get to a park. So if a subdivision goes in there, we should, as the city, force them to add green space to the design.
And it'll be the city's responsibility to maintain it.
To maintain it, yes, once. But within our current subdivision regulations, it does state that we can force green space. There is no formula to say, is 10 square feet enough? Do we need 20 acres? Like, I want more clear regulations stating, nope, you're doing this big of subdivision, you need this much green space if it's further than a certain distance from a city park.
So that's included in this project, correct?
Yes, all of the collaboration and just making sure that they're exactly what you need.
Okay.
Yes, and unique to you guys.
So the formula will be in there for how far it is, so if somebody's gonna do a housing division and it's next to park, they won't have to put any in, but they're a long ways, or like I said, so we'll set those regulations with this.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have strived toward, when somebody asks what are the rules, I can print it out in black and white and hand you, and everybody has the same set of rules. And I don't like that the rules for like stormwater currently are nothing. We have no regulation on stormwater, meaning from my perspective, legally, if you want to build a huge housing development, I can't require any stormwater past what Kansas Department of Agriculture Division of Water Resources does. I would like something in there.
This document will allow us to do that.
Yeah, I've scoured other cities and I've put together a document. I had it as an ordinance to put it in city code. I've sent that to PEC. They're reviewing it with our subdivision regulations. But they said it didn't need to be in city code, it needed to be in the subdivision regulations. So I'm also not very good at stormwater stuff, so I just had plagiarized pieces from other jurisdictions, and we have a professional corporation here to help us get it correct.
And it'll be important if they do the green space to, when they do a plat, to put city park, not just park. Because having been in construction and development, that has presented a problem a few times when, back in the past when the city tried to deny that it was a city park. It says park, but it didn't say city park. Well, whose else park would it be? But anyway, that's another thing. But
another aspect of this that I have been looking at, I don't like a housing development going in and now the city has this stormwater retention that we're responsible for maintaining. Or this stormwater retention that we didn't have before, it only benefits the neighborhood, but the city and the taxpayers are responsible for maintaining it. So I discussed with PEC about putting something in there that if stormwater retention, large stormwater retention is required, then part of the plat is to require covenants to create a homeowners association to maintain that.
Oh, I'm completely against that. For the same reason that I really want this, so that we can, and that's the whole reason for the prepaid RHIDs, is so that the city can help fund true infrastructure projects, so we have more underwater or underground movement of water to a city retention pond. Because I don't even want to imagine the headache it would create if every one of our new subdevelopments is also having to be maintained by its own housing association.
It works on Wind Ridge Point where they maintain the pond.
Yeah, but that also has to do with the level of, how do I put it, finance that maybe exists within that community.
The reason I look at it that way is because every time we add retention that is city maintained, taxpayer maintained, that's a reason why we're gonna need to raise taxes to maintain more infrastructure and more infrastructure and more infrastructure.
Right, that's why we need these rules, so we know. So we can plan and
something else you're gonna run into on this deal is like the housing addition, Holly Ridge Fourth, where if we're doing the regulations per the area that's being developed, but we have another area that is actually draining into that area that presents a problem, is the developer gonna be responsible for just their area and the city pick up whatever the size has to be to what's running into it? Because that's something to consider for the developer is, am I just taking care of my space or am I solving another problem for the city? Like they did up there, we had a large area of mobile home park, where the Cotton, or whatever it's called over there, those apartments. And, now I can't remember what the Sierra Drive or whatever, all that drains onto Chance Boulevard into that pond. So those are things that we have to watch for.
Because the day they don't use a prepaid CID, where it's the city's money paying for that infrastructure, then a developer has to come up with that money to pay for something. And during that time, Marvin would bring up, well, why don't I just build mine big enough so that it only takes care of my stuff and let all that other water that isn't my problem be be that neighborhood's problem. And I would agree with him on that. Why would you have to come up with money to pay for more than your area's development when it's the city's drainage that you're gonna take care of when you develop that area?
I'm just mentioning that because those will be considerations we'll have to take.
Yeah, glad we
when they
have
make those
professionals working on
regulations, is whether we're gonna provide that the city's going to, because to me, we need to require that drainage space in that addition, but we may need to be responsible for part of it. And when they do go out there and shoot it or whatever, they should be able to tell how much is draining into that area from someplace else. So But that's when you develop it, the plan or the ordinances, so,
Lots of meetings to come.
yeah.
More than likely.
So you mentioned green space, and I don't see that in this. Mentioned.
It was listed.
Yeah, I didn't read it in there either. That's why when he said that,
Or maybe you use a different term in the document, but I don't see it.
No, I need to, let's see. Could be subdivision.
Yeah, everything just basically mentions drainage.
So I don't know if I'm seeing it exactly stated about green space either. But as far as just the subdivision regulations, if you've had that conversation, then I'm sure they were taking that into consideration when creating the proposal as well.
That'll work. Those regulations are easier to change than if you put it into code. The regulations,
The
those are
subdivision
easier.
regulations? It's about like the zoning. I mean, we just have to take it before planning and zoning, have a public hearing, discuss, what we want to change. We've changed the zoning regulations 5 times over the last 10 years, probably, just minor changes a few times. The subdivision regulations haven't been touched. And so, the main purpose of this is to get some stormwater stuff in there, because that's the biggest hole I see in the rules that I give out to developers is, well, I can't, it's whatever the engineer says should be required.
Okay. I move we approve PEC work order number 26-03 in the amount not to exceed 25,000 that will develop stormwater design standards and draft related regulations for incorporation into a city regulations. Funding will come from streets, drainage, and capital improvement portion of the 1 cent sales tax.
Second.
You can do it.
I heard Ron first. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion, any additional discussion? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Thank you. Thank you both. Item number 10, dog park concrete.
So Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, as previously discussed, we're back for approval for the dog park project. On May 12, 2026, the City Commission voted in favor of the dog park project with a budgeted approval amount of $194,000. However, this package did not include the price of the concrete parking lot. I had Chewy break down the dimensions in your packet, so these numbers are all provided by him, and we do feel that we would need an amount not to exceed $100,000 for this in-kind work. We will do it all in-house with our staff. About $77,999.60 in concrete. In that first paragraph, my eyes did not catch this. In the first paragraph, I put $77,990.60. It is actually $77,999.60. I pushed out the agenda at about 8:00 p.m. last Thursday, and I think I was a little tired. So I pride myself on being very accurate. I wanted to make that correction. But we do feel that we need an additional amount of $100,000 to finalize plans for this project. And this will include concrete, Oklahoma road gravel, and rebar in order to do that. This parking lot will supply additional off-site parking for the park, the splash park, and probably even some rec center dance lessons and such, because the parking lot gets very full out back. That amount will come from the community development portion of the 1% sales tax, where we do have budget authority and properly budgeted this project. We budgeted 75,000, but we have additional authority in other areas that we will not utilize until halfway through the year.
Well, I would move we approve concrete for the park project in amount not to exceed $100,000, coming from the community development portion of the 1% sales tax.
Second?
I got Janeth on that one.
Sorry.
We have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 11, city staff. No Brad tonight. Brian.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, the 2027 budget is in progress. With that being said, we need to look at scheduling dates for our work sessions to go through that. If you have time or a minute, we would like to schedule at least a few meetings in either late July, early August area.
Not the 29th.
Not the 29th.
It's my birthday, so sorry, but I'm not available on my birthday.
First of August works better for.
Do you guys need or want also? How many sessions? So that'll give us an idea of how many we need to schedule and how far out.
Right.
I mean, I'm used to doing it in 2,
Yeah.
and then they're usually about 6 hours each.
I would be okay with 2. We just make it longer.
When you're looking at the budget, how complex have they been? Are you dealing with just a percentage increase to the year before? Have many of them changed employees drastically? Or do many of them want to do a 5-minute presentation?
I think we would still want to continue the presentation that they have done in the past, just to review each department and what their specific needs might be. So I think that would still be prudent.
Yes, I still think we need a work session like we've always done with about 15 minutes per department, 30 minutes for PD and a few others that have multiple areas that they cover. I definitely want a project-based work session where we discuss the visionary goals for 2027. I know so much of the money is going to be tied up in what we just experienced, the slash part. But there's other smaller things that we want to discuss too.
So that's kind of what I was thinking. Is it one earlier in the process where we can talk in generalities? And then one when we get down to the end of the budget process when we actually have final numbers from departments and things.
And an important date is the R&R hearing has to take place by September the 20th. For us, this means it needs to be at the September 8th commission meeting, and we do have to publish our intent for the R&R and where we're going to be at 10 days prior. So we really need to have a meeting in mid to late July and then early August so that we can have a final dollar amount that everybody is satisfied with and go from there.
I mean,
Make sure you're all here on
Right.
September 8th, is everyone, so we have to have a quorum for that.
Yeah, and I shared with them, for me, Fridays always work great. Thursdays are usually also pretty good. Mondays would be third in line. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are usually awful. Schedule wise.
Kind of matches what Ron likes to do too.
Yeah, every day's bad. But I like that Thursday, Friday thing, because by then I've given up on one. Get done what we get done, right?
There you go.
So maybe if you're talking, mid to late July, maybe the week of the 20th, somewhere in there.
The 23rd or 24th, either
Yeah,
of those
that
work
would
for me.
That would miss our birthdays.
That
You're
would
not
miss your
gonna speak on
birthdays.
that Friday before?
No,
Okay.
I don't think so. Fine. And so 23rd, 24th of July, somewhere in there, and then what, late August?
Early August.
Early August.
Mid,
Couple weeks
mid,
later.
Mid-August?
Right, early?
like the 14th or the
Yeah.
21st, maybe
23rd, maybe the 6th.
13th, 14th.
You want the 6th or 7th, is what you're wanting, give you a little more time?
6th or 7th.
I mean, so you're done ahead of time? Can we do that?
Six or
2 weeks
seven.
apart, right?
And do you guys want to hear the nonprofits? Because we usually try, well, previously, we would do it like that first week of July. I don't know if you guys still wanna have hearings, have them come in and present, everything is due
The 30th.
the 30th. So we also, if you guys are gonna want to have a work session for that, we need to look at dates for that also.
I prefer July for that. My first couple of years, we did it in October and kind of had to back into it. We just set an amount, and then you guys had to fit the pieces to match that amount. Last year, we got back to July, which is what they had done for years, and that's a very successful target, in my opinion. Then you can have more flexibility and decide how you want to appropriate the funds without working within the confines of what we have established. We can afford exactly. We still have time to adjust it if we have the meetings in July. So I think we need to set the nonprofits first. Kristen, you're getting those in by the 30th.
Yes, so I was gonna say this on staff comments, so sorry if I'm interrupting anyone. But they are due next week, Tuesday, on the 30th. I had around, I believe it was 23 picked up precisely, and I have had one turned in today. So
They usually wait till the last day.
probably so, but they only have till next week, Tuesday, so,
Could we work that into the work session that we'll have in July? So that would be the 14th, and then knock that out? Because if we have a special meeting for the water park, I don't know that I have a large amount of things to put on that work session.
That works.
So nonprofits on the 14th.
do you want that to be at 4, or do you
We
want?
might need more time than that if you have
Yeah.
23 applicants.
Yeah, possibly.
So what time can you guys?
3 o'clock
for that
or
one?
3.
Three?
3?
Would that work for everyone?
I think that would give us enough time.
And then did we decide the 24th? For the budget?
Kristen, maybe if you don't get that many in, maybe you can let everybody know. We can do it at 4 instead of 3 as well.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
depends on how many you get in.
Yes. And I timed everyone last year on so I kind of know about how much time they'll take as well.
So usually we give them 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And we'll try to keep it at 5
Yeah.
minutes.
And then July 24th.
Yeah. What time?
I'm open to suggestions.
Didn't we say July?
4?
We're on different dates.
4 o'clock?
On Friday?
I know, I was like, that's late.
2 o'clock? 1 o'clock?
1 sounds better.
Oh, you mean you're done that early on Friday?
When you meet
No.
Okay, so this is for the 23rd or 24th, you guys are doing
24th?
Friday the 24th?
And we're talking about July 24th, yes.
1 o'clock?
For department heads, is that what you're thinking?
I think,
Yeah, that's the first go through, right?
Yeah.
Is department heads the first go through?
Second.
Or the second?
Yeah, second.
I think
goes
that
to-
needs to be the
Yeah.
second. I think we probably need to do projects
Right.
first.
Does this projects and just kind of discussion of the overall potential of what it's gonna look like for
is that-
valuations?
So is that 1 o'clock or when is it?
How much, that's kind of a new thing to me, so,
Well, it's new to us too. So.
okay. So, I mean, 1 o'clock works for me.
We can start as early as you want or as late as you guys want, if that helps.
4 o'clock's probably a little late. I mean, 1 o'clock's fine with me.
Well, it's up
But
to you.
One or
we
two
could do
fine.
whatever.
Whatever works for
2
Ron.
o'clock, fine, that's
1
fine.
o'clock,
That works.
yeah. Did we just make it work?
That's, sometimes you have to.
I've given up by then too, so.
I think 2 to 3 hours, we can probably knock it out, just because we know a huge amount of the project money is going to one specific thing. Probably the big discussion will be the mill and the valuations and the tax abatements,
Can we wait to set the second one?
based on
maybe-
the meeting on the
Well, no, not, I want,
6 or
basically
7?
just want to check my calendar.
Sure,
And-
be
and-
closer to that date before you
Yeah,
decide.
because we've got some
We can
things
talk-
I've got to,
Yeah, we can talk about it Monday,
yeah, and that's
I
fine.
suppose.
That gives me a chance to look at the calendar.
Sure.
Okay.
Clear as mud?
okay.
Just a couple of things. So I do want to thank Jeff and Jose for going with us to the LKM City Forum last week. We did have a couple of representatives that were there, so that was a very, I think, productive discussion around state government and the role of local government and, you know, some of the priorities that we have. So great discussion there. It's always good to catch up with those others in our area and just, you know, have that additional conversation with the league staff. That went well. Park signage is going up. It's like halfway done right now. Most of the south side of town has been completed, and they'll continue working on that throughout the rest of the week. So we're happy with that. The State of the City on July 15th, we are taking RSVPs for that because there will be a meal served. Baker Arts Center is going to cater that for us. And so just encourage everyone. We've got about a dozen people. I've only put one post out so far, and we've had a dozen, which is more than we've had come to some of our town halls. So I'm encouraged by that. I think it's going to be good. That'll be at the Girl Scout building. And then fire department, been working a lot with them on communications around fireworks. So they have a lot on their social media that they're putting out. We're helping to share it. They did start the program that we put out about the bucket brigade, where if you would like a bucket that you can use to keep water in and then soak your used fireworks in overnight, that helps to reduce dumpster fires, which happen to be one of the leading causes of fires after fireworks. So we appreciate everyone spreading the word on that. We had good community sponsors who helped with that to fund it. So the fire department, they've got set hours when people can go to the North Fire Station to pick up a bucket if they would like. We also have added on our website, just so it is extremely easy to find, there's no way to miss it. Very top of our page is all the regulations for fireworks. You can't, it's right there. So if you do have people asking questions, if you do want to refer them to the rules, that's where they're at. We've already had some people message us about, are bottle rockets allowed? It's like, no. And so residents have said, I saw it somewhere, I'll go correct them. And we appreciate that. So just continuing to get the word out early, as well as the safety tips that we do as well. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Keely. No? Chief?
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good, thank you.
Sorry, I sit here in the back, so it takes me longer. I've got a quick handout, I've got 2 things to talk about.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Running real fast, can you 2 share on? And you 2 share on. Thank you. Okay, first thing that I want to speak about, Chester Pinkston, which Liberal Police Department, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager. Thank you for letting me speak tonight. I hope all of you had the opportunity to make it out to Liberals Night Out this year. This is my 4th one. You know, I've been here about 3 years, but the timing, it's actually my 4th event that I've attended. And it felt like this event was more well attended than the others. I have no explanation for that. You know, we didn't do anything different. The location was different, but weather was kind of favorable. You know, we we have an uncanny knack for picking unfavorable weather days for our Liberal Night Out. Continued again this year. We shut the music down a little bit early. We did not have the street dance that we had wanted because the storms were expected to hit us about 8 o'clock, and then they split and went around us. But nonetheless, we had a great turnout. Had a lot of people out there. I've received positive comments from people since then, and we're only going to continue to hopefully make that a better event. So I want to thank the commission and the city manager for supporting that and giving us the money that we need to host that event for the community. Next thing I want to talk about is House Bill 5481. Most of us know that there's a FIFA soccer tournament. They call it football, it's soccer here. They're having the tournament in the United States and Canada and Mexico, and it's apparently it's a wonderful event and well received. Since it's been here, I've never really paid attention to it. I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I make no apologies to anybody for that. So that's football to me. But this has been well attended. But they knew that there was going to be a large volume of people that attend this, and it does look like it's been gangbusters with the number of people that have attended. So the House jumped on this, created a bill that was going to allow extended hours for liquor sales in those communities that chose to do that. And the way that they wrote the bill was each community would have to individually opt in, okay? You're automatically following the law as it is, but they give you the ability to opt in if you wanted to extend your hours during that month and a half time frame that they had included in the bill. We have had one particular place that has stayed open at least twice that I know of late. He is alleging that there are 2 other locations he gave us the names of, and there's no reason to mention those names. But we want to put out an education effort. We had this letter drafted. I would ask each of you to read it so you're familiar with it, because you'll be the ones that get the complaints about this, not me. We have decided that we're going to send a team out to contact all of the offending locations that we're aware of, plus any other potential locations that could possibly do this. But we cannot let them stay open until 5 o'clock in the morning. The commission has taken no action on this to authorize that, so we're going to continue to enforce the law. We're hoping to get voluntary compliance, but we did have one person already ask us how much the fine is, and that's not a good showing that there's a good.
It's not a good indicator, is it?
Yeah, that's not a good showing. That's going to be a positive desire to follow that. So there is the provision, which is of course a very much last resort, where we can pull their license for 7 days. The police department can. Would not do that without speaking to the city manager. I'm sure that hopefully each of you will share your concerns with her on whether you're supportive or opposed to that, so she can share those with me. But I wanted each one of you to have the heads up on this. This will be going out tomorrow. Any questions?
So, I mean, aside from pulling the liquor license for 7 days, are there other repercussions that can happen before then?
Yeah, we can cite them for extended hours. And I don't think we've cited anybody yet. I'll have to check on that, but it has not crossed my desk if we did cite somebody.
That could also affect their local license as well as their license to the state. When they reapply, that could be an issue potentially for them.
Yeah.
So you've had one business who is
One business 2 times that we're
who's
aware of.
staying open later or super early?
Yeah, basically it's 2 o'clock. They have to stop at 2 in the morning. They're staying open until 5, which is what the House bill said. You can actually sell liquor from 6 in the morning until 5 o'clock the next morning. I don't know why the House felt you needed that 1 hour break, but maybe they want people to go home and sober up. I'm not sure. But yeah, they capped it at 23 hours. So these offenders here are staying 3 hours late from not closing at 2 a.m. like they're supposed to. They're trying to get to the 5, and this is what they brought up to us. Hey, the state passed this legislation allowing this. But they don't understand that it's the local authority that actually has to opt in.
And Alicia and I talked about it. We didn't opt in simply because we're not in a city that's hosting, and we didn't really want
Correct.
to open ourselves up to something like that. We didn't feel that it was necessary, so we didn't even bring it to you.
Well, it's not like there are games overseas that are causing big time delays or whatever, time differences, they're all being held in North America essentially, and so, you got to, especially being in the central time zone, you got a couple hours one way, a couple hours the other way, and I just don't, yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, yeah, I'm good with this. I guess
Yep, I'm
after,
good with it too.
after you begin the education process, if one or more business owners want to come forward and try and get us to
That's what I was.
pass that resolution, then they can do that,
Yeah.
and then we'll deal with it then.
All right,
That's all right.
thank you.
They really wanted, they could have came and
Yeah,
asked.
they can come and ask. They can still come and ask, but
Yeah.
until then, this is the law.
Yeah.
Hey, any other staff? Okay, item number 12, city manager report.
So Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners, I just wanted to give a little more additional information on fireworks enforcement. I met with both fire chief and police chief yesterday so that we would discuss our game plan starting on July 1st. So as we did last year with good intentions, the fire department will start to educate on July 1st. They will pair up and go throughout town and provide educational documents and work with the public. I feel like that went very well last year until you get down to July 4th in the evening, and then it gets pretty crazy. But I love the cooperative effort between Chet and Kelly on that subject matter. Keely already went over the buckets that Aaron has been promoting online through Facebook so that we can help prevent dumpster fires. Hopefully that will go well. We will see here in a couple of weeks, but Aaron's done a great job on spearheading that campaign. I very much appreciate his efforts. PD will assist as needed and observe high-touch areas from the sky, basically, and provide backup enforcement if fire department encounters any individuals that are being a little non-compliant or not listening very well as it pertains to fire safety. But we imagine that things will hopefully go smoothly and everybody will respect their neighborhood. Ron, because we know how you feel about that from last year. Keely did talk about the educational pamphlets at fireworks stands. I did see the bill today, so I know they are printed and ready to go, and those will be handed out from the vendors. Alicia has confirmed to me the building department has permitted everybody, and we have gotten through that process. So thank you to the building department, because we had to do that a little late or right on time due to when we made that decision of whether or not we were going to allow it. So Keith, thank your people for that. Fire will release all info on Facebook in the weeks prior. Keely will share that. And again, I appreciate the joint effort on both the fire and the PD. That was a big thing that I told them when I took over as city manager, that I wanted them to work cooperatively together. And I very much appreciate those efforts, because I can definitely tell the teamwork there. Also, thank you, Keely, for the work on State of the City and the park signage. Those are little bitty things that we're doing that I know brings a smile to people's faces when they see it's just light and bright and little happy reminders of the progress that we're making. Thank you to Andy from Hutton Construction for coming tonight and appearing in person to help us go through those booklets. It can be a little difficult when the bids weren't exactly apples to apples in comparison, and we're having to dig down a little bit. So I very much appreciate that. This is my first time in designing and building a water park, and we want to make sure we get it right. So thank you for all of the questions there. And then again, thank you, Delaney from the police department, and everybody's efforts on Liberal Night Out. I attended that event. There were several people there that were enjoying the band, all of the vendors, the food trucks, etc. So really appreciate those community outreach efforts, and that's all.
Thanks, Scarlett. Item number 13, items from commissioners.
I'll start and I'll make it quick. Nothing today.
Okay, well, that was quick. That's a first, I believe.
No, I don't really have a whole lot either. Just want to thank the staff for all the work they put in, especially to making sure we hopefully have a safe 4th of July here in the community. That's it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll make it real quick too. Thank you, staff, for everything you do. I thank the police department and the fire department in advance for what they got coming up. I appreciate the extra effort and appreciate everything you do, all the staff. That's all I got.
I want to also thank the staff for all of their hard work. I saw the signage. It looks really good. I even passed by there at night, and I feel like it stands out even more. So good job with that. Great job with the Liberal Night Out. I have heard nothing but positive comments. I will tell you a big reason why a lot of people went to it is because of Neatos and Squishies. So make sure you have that next year, because I know people were like super excited to go to this event because they were on the hunt for Neatos. And then I also heard that the variety of food selection was also a plus. I stopped by there, but I went more towards the end. But I thought the food selection was really good. But I heard nothing but positive events. There's a lot of people who came in for that event from out of town, and I heard nothing but great things. I also think that changing the location was pretty cool. Even though I've been to this event, I feel like it was a brand new event just because it was set up differently. But great job with that. The Liberal Fire Department, thank you for what you guys are doing with the education for 4th of July and for the buckets. I guess that's a big deal too. I've heard a lot of people, especially kids, that want to go to the fire department to get a bucket from Spartan. And so that's kind of trending right now. I know a lot of people are looking forward to getting this plastic bucket. So you guys are doing a really good job. I even think it could be a story on the TV stations because it just has kind of such a hype right now. So good job with that. For the State of City address, I'm really excited, but I was hoping we can get that added to, our meeting is on Monday. I kind of have, I don't know if I'm volunteering you guys because I asked you guys in advance if you guys would speak, but I kind of just wanted to go over, all of the commissioners have generously said yes to speaking, and so we just kind of wanted to be on the same page what we're going to be discussing. Thank you, Andy from Hutton. I know it's a very important topic, and a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about the water park, and I think they'll be understanding with the timing. I think they're looking forward, and they just want a little bit more information as to what we're doing because they just see something demolished and they're like, now what? Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Thanks always to staff. I did go out to Night Out. I went early on And, man, the fire, or the police department's just snake bit as far as weather goes with that event.
I know.
You know, just can't seem to, you know, if we want to schedule a storm, we'll just call PD and have them schedule night out for it. I love the fact that we're getting out front of the fireworks stuff like we have this year. I thought we were out in front of it last year, but this year seems even better than that. So I appreciate everybody's efforts on that front. And also appreciate the fact that Hutton came down. Appreciate also the assistance from the from staff and everybody on the pool discussion. And I was glad we were able to kind of pump the brakes a little bit on that and make sure we get that right. So anyway, that's all I have. Item number 14, vouchers.
I'll make a motion that we approve the vouchers in the amount of $2,945,343.78.
Second?
Big number this time. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 15, executive session.
I move the commission recess into executive session for 15 minutes for police department valuation pursuant KSA 75-4319B1 for purpose of discussing personal matters of non-elected personnel, to include city manager Scarlett Disker and chief of police Chester Pinkston. We will go in at 7:07 and come out at 7:22.
Checking your math skills.
Mhm.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Okay, motion passes 5-0. So reconvene at 7:22.
Anyone need a break?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I already got mine in, that's maybe.
Move the commission recess into executive session for 15 minutes for police department evaluation pursuant KSA 75-4319B1 for the purpose of discussing personnel matters of non-elected personnel to include city manager Disker and chief of police Pinkston, to go in at 7:24 and come out at, what are we doing? 7:39. 7:39.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion passes 5-0.
No action?
Okay, any action need to be taken as a result of the executive session?
No action.
No. That's the case, then we are adjourned.
Oh, before we adjourn, just real quick, I just
Sorry?
want to make sure I got this correct. So we have a special meeting on Monday at 5:30, the 29th.
5:30? I have 4 o'clock.
Okay, that's what I want to make sure I got. So Monday at 4.
And then you guys were gonna vote then on the other dates,
Yeah,
correct?
but then,
Yes.
then we have the State of the City, July 15th at noon. We're doing the nonprofits, July 14th at 3. And then we have the first budget work session, July 24th at 1.
That's what I've got.
Okay.
And
No.
then did you guys mention you were
Yeah,
looking at other
July
dates?
24.
The last date?
You know what, the August meeting, we were gonna try and,
At one.
Yeah.
So we have Monday the 29th.
Glad you mentioned it. I had
Yeah.
to put down Mondays.
yes.
June 29th at 4, July 14th for nonprofits at 3, July 24th at 1, and then looking at August.
And that's a special meeting on Monday, right?
Yes, it is special.
For the pool, and then this. You're gonna get your speaking part.
Oh, they're gonna assign us?
I'm assigning you one.
All right, now I'm.
All right, okay, all right. We're adjourned.